There's no need to clean, because after the first 4 years, the dust doesn't get any worse. It's just a question of not losing your nerve. If you share a territory, you will in the end only be left with the things about which you disagree. If you get up at 6 o'clock in the morning and your little friend gets up at 6, within a week you'll say, "Oh, isn't it amazing, we agree." But if your friend wants the soap on the left-hand side of the wash basin and you want it on the right, divorce. And people will say, "You got divorced over a cake of soap?" But they forget, you moved it every day. This would at least have the effect of calling the bluff of newscasters. You see, the spreading of shocking news is not a denunciation of wars and so-called evils. It's a way of selling television sets. It's a parallel activity with the making of pornographic films. It's all right if you're learning to sing or dance, because these are activities that the results of which you can take out into the world and wear like a crown. People who've learnt to sing will always have richer, rounder voices. People who've learnt to dance will always have bigger, bolder movements. But as for pottery and basket weaving, what good are they? The minute the doors of the online course clang shut, you're back where you started. On your way to the supermarket, you might get into an argument with a stranger at a bus stop. It's no good saying, "Oh, I can't express myself, you'll just have to come and see my baskets." And from then onwards, you should have nothing at home that does not represent the kind of person you've decided to become. It doesn't matter if your house is filled with objects which are advertised on TV every 20 minutes. They've got to go. And when you get rid of the superfluous objects, you start on the superfluous actions. I used to say that there must be no dawdling and daydreaming, but I've changed my opinion recently. I think you are allowed your daydreams up to the age of 25. Do you understand me? Because after that, they may become an alibi. I mean, it's no good running a pig farm badly for 30 years while saying, "Oh, well, really, I was meant to be a ballet dancer." By that stage, pigs will be your style. Never try to keep up with the Joneses. Drag them down to your level. It's cheaper. In Britain, going to the polls is a complete waste of time. I mean, there are really only two factions, the Tories and the Labourites. And whichever one is in power, it doesn't take long before people start moaning, "What went wrong with the Labour or Conservative Party?" They came to power, that's what went wrong. It's as pointless as asking, "What went wrong with our marriage?" We got married. You should not attempt to become fashionable. You should attempt to become stylish. Now, many people say, "Oh, I'm not wealthy enough to be stylish." But you will not need any actual wealth. Many years ago in Soho, there was a lady known as the Countess. And in spite of this, she had no fixed abode, virtually no clothing, and her entire life was spent looking in dustbins. And one day, in a very fashionable part of London, she came across a complete backless beaded dress. Well, she longed for night to fall so she could nip into a dark doorway and try it on. Well, eventually her patience ran thin, and she went into a churchyard in the centre of London and took off all her clothes. Well, this caused a crowd to collect, and the crowd caused a policeman to collect. And the next day in court, when the magistrate said, "And what exactly were you doing, stripping amongst the dead?" she said, "I was doing what any woman would be doing at that hour, changing for dinner." If during the lockdown you have found that you are ordinary, then ordinary is what you must remain. But you must be so ordinary that you can imagine someone saying, "Oh, come to my party and bring your humdrum friend," and everyone knowing he means you. So today somebody failed to Zoom. So be it. Somebody else will Zoom tomorrow, and if not, so be that. You see, you can only be lonely if you don't know what to do with the time when you are alone. If you wander round your room saying, "I am alone, no one comes to see me, I'm worthless." What matters is not what other people think about you, but what you think about yourself. You must not value love because it is requited. Your love is of value to you because you give it. It's as though you gave me a present merely because you expected me to give you one in return. This won't do. If you have love to give, you give it, and you give it where it is needed, and you never, ever ask for anything in return. Once you've got that idea into your head, the idea of your heart being broken will disappear from you forever. To life, a funny thing that happens to you on the way to the grave.